everybody was coming to tell stuff. I done dealt with Eazy-E people, with Drakester, and all of them. Y'all look at the
Sure.
uncut in the 2000. I done had then everybody on the
You had the
album
pen.
doing
You had the pen. You had the pen of all pens at that point.
exactly.
The Death Row pen. Go ahead, Pete. Asking.
Um,
Hey,
you're talking
was
about
Wavy managing you back then in 2007? Did you ever deal
Wavy
with
and
Wavy?
Mac. Wavy and Mac. Yep.
Wavy and Max. See,
Yep.
see, I can tell you your business.
Shit, I ain't got no business in
No,
2007.
nothing, no smart, no smart. Yeah,
Go ahead, Pete.
but yeah,
you're talking about like 94, 95, right?
yeah.
That's
With
yeah.
Snoop getting re-signed, right?
No,
No,
I'm
no,
talking
no.
2008.
Snoop went
I'm
to
sorry,
Master.
1998.
Yeah, Pete went to there in '98 after Dogfather.
Correct. That was like 98,
Yeah.
99.
Oh, okay. I thought that the lag to like when he actually signed and the album got out. I thought it came out like 97 or something like that. So it was like
That was Dogfather came out
That's
97.
Dogfather. Yeah, that was the album
I
Pooh
thought they came
did.
out that late.
Yes.
Actually came out.
I
It
thought it
was
came out
like
like
Oh,
95.
96. No, it came out in
95 or 6.
might have been
96.
the end of 96,
Yeah, it
but
came out around the same time Machiavelli came out.
came out a
Okay.
week later. We
Yeah.
I
talking
thought
about
that
week
they had
before.
released that, like they had
And
the
we did
rights
the
to it.
Christmas album, Santa
Oh
Claus.
yeah.
Yeah.
That which is
So
that classic hip hop, Christmas song, probably the greatest hip hop Christmas song. Coming
no,
straight
I
to the
still bump
ghetto.
every Christmas time. I still bump that song,
Yeah,
Even
that's
still,
dope.
but
that
like,
whole album.
so we're talking 97, 98.
Correct.
Yeah, 96,
And
97, 98.
for Snoop negotiating
Yeah, the
this
deal got
deal.
done in like 97, in the 97, 98 when he was assigned up to P. Well, actually, once again, priority.
Without, I don't want to ask
Go
the
ahead, you can
wrong
ask.
kind of question,
Nigga.
Go ahead.
but like looking at the career arcs of Snoop and Mac, what, how's Mac making that kind of a play?
Well, he had a deal.
He had
He had got
Brian.
a deal with priority.
Yeah, Brian.
Priority gave him a nice deal. I think he got like a $7 million album deal.
He
He
was going
had I
all
was
in on
Marvin
Snoop.
Watkins. The dude named Marvin Watkins was managing Mac,
Yeah.
and he was
Marv
kind of
was
like
hard.
over A&R at Priority Records. He had
Yeah.
Brian Turner here, and they got him a deal. That's when he had C.J. Mack. He had
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember
Comrades,
he came
Gangster
out with all
from
kind of those guys,
Linwood.
like
yeah.
He had eight for a record,
Oh, he did.
automatic.
yeah,
Okay.
off
Yeah,
in
he
the
had
eye and all
eight.
those guys.
He
Yeah,
had
he had that
everybody. He
movie.
had got so
Yeah.
Priority. I gave him a deal,
Yeah.
but yeah,
I don't
Dang,
know.
I just look at the two. I'm like, wow,
yeah, got.
Mac
But he got a
gonna
nice
buy
little
a
deal.
Snoop.
Well, no,
Mac
because at
wasn't
that
broke.
time, huh?
Said Mac wasn't broke.
He
No,
wasn't broke,
but he had
he
Brian.
wasn't
He
gonna
had
be giving
Brian.
us
He
$1
had
million.
he
We
had a
know
bigger
what
bag.
Was Snoop
six,
broke at
$7
that
million
time?
dollars. My point, he could have been giving up $1 million. I can't say, but my point is, if why would he give $1 million if he couldn't even get the man signed to him?
Yeah, I
You
see
know
what
what
you're
I'm saying?
saying.
We was
Yeah,
not going to authorize the time period that they were talking. We wasn't going to authorize Mac 10 to get that deal.
but what I don't want to do, Reg, I don't want to talk about
I
that
don't want to hate
version of
on him either
Suge.
because I like
No,
Mac.
no, no, not Mac. Mac's my guy. That's not no question. But I want to talk about Suge. What's
Okay.
the most generous thing you've ever seen him do?
Well, the Mother's Day thing. Well, that's very generous. That's when he brought everybody, mamas. This was his thinking. He did this for like 2 or 3 years in a row, where he bought in the Beverly Hills Hotel. Um, it was the most expensive one in Beverly Hills at the time. I can't think of the name of it right now, but he took everybody and had their mamas brought to the hood from the neighborhoods in limos. And these was mainly, and his whole thinking was, I mean, we talking about at least 250 mothers sitting at tables and getting gifts. We had Charlie Wilson, Escape, Tupac, Hammer. Um, he did Charlie Wilson, and no, not Charlie Wilson, the Isley Brothers. He had the Isley Brothers
Wow.
because they love the old women love the most. But his whole thinking was, this is Mother's Day. Most of these mothers don't have anything to do, and they just gonna be sitting at home mad at the kids because the daddy's not there or the daddy's in jail or something like that or in prison. And he just wanted to show them a good time on Mother's Day. He
That's
did that for like
crazy.
2 or 3 years. We always everybody gave out turkeys and Christmas and toys around Christmas time. Always did that. We'll be at the mall, and whenever we go to the mall, everybody hitting up buying the tennis shoes and stuff like that. See some little kids walking around, have them take off their shoes, buy them a pair of shoes. I done been with him where people don't call. Like I said, if you get to him, that was the problem, was getting to him. But when artists got to him or whatever, they always had a problem or always needed something. And I ain't talking about the big name artists because they had their monthly.
Sure.
Snoop had 50,000 coming in, and I think Pac Dio was $75,000 monthlies. Is what they had, towards the end when everything was rolling good. But even prior to that, when you need money and stuff like that, they always had it. Everybody always had a story, and you got it. Whenever you got to him and told him your story, it was always. I was walking one day with when he was in prison, and Dad said, "Give me the phone. Let me talk to him." He told me, he said, "Suge, I need some money." Suge told me cut Jazz a check for $100,000. I mean, we talking like 99, 2000 when he
Wow.
in prison and stuff like that. Whenever an artist asks for something, they always get it. People always say, well, the cars and the houses and this wasn't in their name. Who owned a
Who the
penthouse
fuck
on
cares?
Wilshire
Yeah.
back
Who the
then?
fuck
You was
cares?
leasing them. Who owned cars back then? Did you want a goddamn 97 car, 1997 car, in 2001, 2002? Everybody was doing leases. Leases was new then. You would lease a car for 3 or 4 years because you wanted a new one.
Hell
Only thing you
yeah.
wanted brand new, I mean, to keep with your name was a classic or, some motorcycles and stuff like that. So he didn't even own none of the cars that he had. He was
Yeah.
leasing cars.
Why would you?
Well,
That
that
was the
was a
whole
good
thinking
tax break
behind it.
too, as well.
But everybody now say, well, we found out none
Yeah,
of the
but
cars
but
was in our
but we
name.
can't but we can't but we can't get into the conversation where people are trying to make
Well, I
him
just
look
got cleared
bad
up because
because
that's
it's
what people will be
ridiculous.
saying.
I got
Yeah.
He
another
didn't do
question.
this. He didn't do that. Nothing was in their name.
Could,
That
could
was in nobody
Calabasas House
name.
was being getting put in Park name. The Tuca Lake house that Snoop had was in his name. The house in Claremont or Monrovia, wherever it is, he still got that house. That's in his name. That was in his name. You know.
Personally, every time I talk to Dog, he ain't never had nothing bad to say about shit. And I think those will be the times. So I really judge people conversation and what they say to me personally
Okay.
because they feel like it's somebody that I know they gonna tell me what they really think. I think everybody outside of me has this public image of what it's only a couple people I think is as advertised where I see him and I feel like Too Short is somebody that's on and off camera the same person. You know what I mean? Ice-T, I get the same vibe no matter who I'm in front of. Snoop is one of those people to me when I talk to him, I get this real honest version of him. And for him not to smut out Dog like Suge in front of me, told me everything I needed to know. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck all of the shit to the fans or, how you marketing yourself. The reality was he's always been like grateful to me. You know what I mean? It's always been like, when you go back to the earliest stories of changing his name, when you go back to the earliest stories of understanding how to dress him, like the thing that make record labels great, and this is from just studying and outside looking in, you have somebody that's really great with records and somebody really great with vision. And to me, Suge, Death Row is the greatest hip hop label of all time because they had the greatest. Well, they created the greatest renaissance in arts to me. Like when you seen the cultural phenomenon that was Death Row, it was the centerpiece of the most contagious black culture in the history of black culture. Like there's nothing more global than the lifestyle we live in Los Angeles. You know what I mean? No matter where you go, you could talk to the most whitest white person. They gonna know about the culture that is Crippin'. They ain't gonna know everything, but they gonna know Crips wear blue and Bloods wear red.
Correct.
So for them to be the centerpiece of that renaissance of that much truth, because it's all the truth. They didn't have to put nothing on it. The lifestyle was obvious. So for Suge to understand visually and to have the vision to say, this is what I need to present, right? That was so important. Like you got Dre doing the records, but you have Suge with the vision. Suge knew what it needed to be
Marketing
look like.
genius. I always tell everybody he was a
Brilliant. Yeah.
marketing genius.
Brilliant. Unbelievable.
quick question. I think I remember it accurately, but there was like some civil settlement or litigation that was between Daz and Suge, and I thought it came out to damages to $25 million to
That's
Daz. Is that
Daz,
right?
his PR people.
Uh,
This is
I was
what
I
happened.
didn't. That numbers didn't make sense. What happened there?
Yeah, this is what happened. Suge, what happened is, to be honest, I own Daz Publishing. I gave Daz $75,000 and bought all of his publishing and everything that was owned to him by Death Row. If you ever look up a company called Simon Says Music Publishing, you'll know that it's a lot of deals that, but that's after the fact. That's like in 98, 99, 2000 when I was paying all of the artists and buying them and buying there where they don't get any more money, where they just sold it over and turned it over to me. Now, that's another story. But then there was a separation between Suge and I. Suge, so he didn't know about a lot of the deals that I was doing or had forgot about them. So people started going suing and putting in claims and all of that. So Daz heard about Corrupt getting released from his deal by filing for bankruptcy. So Daz went and tried to hire those attorneys, some dudes from Philadelphia or something like that, and try to go the same route with Suge. Suge got the default judgments. He started just not going to court and stopped dealing with stuff.
Oh,
Suge
like what
was
happened?
wilding
That's what
out.
happened to Game. That's what happened to Game in his case.
Yeah.
He didn't go to court on that girl, and that girl won a judgment of like some real millions too.
That's how Michael Harrio got the judgment for $107 million against Suge. It wasn't that the judge felt he owed or he was right. It was just because they got tired of Suge not disrespecting the courts. They were telling him you need to turn over this, turn over that. And he just like said, fuck it, and didn't care. And so Jazz got a default judgment against Suge. Just like Harrio. Harrio ain't touched a penny off of that. Daz ain't touched a penny either. But Daz has been receiving royalty checks from whatever the estate and everything paid them because I ain't threw that paperwork in their face yet. But as soon as I get back healthy, I had been, okay, the reason I haven't did any of the paperwork because number one, it was a big old death row bankruptcy hearing that went down. Guess who was the face of most of the stuff? I had a $2 million house out in Corona that they were trying to take. And, Harry was trying to say that was Suge House and all of that, which I had to prove that wasn't Suge House. So I had to go and make a deal with the bankruptcy attorneys. I had a building on Wilshire that was in my name, death row officers, that I had paid $3 million. I had paperwork where I got Suge, I refinanced it in my name and everything and was able to give him $3 million. But I didn't want to take that fight on because I knew I didn't do stuff right. Most of the deposits and all of that did come from death row. So
Sure.
I didn't ever make the claims that I should. But now that the bankruptcy is over, I'll be out of trouble in about another 6 to 8 months. You're going to be seeing Reggie Wright going and collecting a lot of money that's been owed to him since about 2004, 2003. Because I still have all the paperwork saying that all these people done did buyouts with me. Which I think they done forgot about, but they ain't forgot about it.
What do you think
So
is the
that's
most
why stuff like judgments and all of that came out, was able to get, but nobody's got paid anything because of the bankruptcy.
Yeah.
Nobody. So
What's
that
the most?
$25 million that Dad's talking about is all cap.
Yeah, because he went and bought some tiny little farmhouse in Mississippi. I'm like, that must be some oil under there for $25 million.
That's his mama house. That's
Yeah.
his mama. He moved out there with his mother. Now he'll tell you he went out there to take care of her and all of that. Okay, Dad.